Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to day 3 of the Paddy Power World Darts Championship. And we are here once again with the Fallout Bar, myself, Jack Garwood, joined by the one and only Mr. Cam McFarlane. Cam, we're making a bit of a habit of this, pal.
Yeah, it tends to happen quite often, doesn't it, to be fair? I don't know whether it's more of an indication that we just like doing it, or whether no one else will do it with us. Maybe that's more of a reflection on me and you than anything else, to be fair.
We'll soon find out, mate, because I'm missing 3 of the next 5, so that's going to drop a bombshell in the group chat very shortly, including tomorrow, where I will be at tomorrow's session. So, yeah, boy.
Oh, are you there tomorrow? Oh, so you were down to do it with me tomorrow. I thought we were having 4 straight days on it.
Yeah, no, I've swindled some tickets, so I'm off, pal.
Fair enough. Cheers for the invite, as always.
No, too far for you.
No dartboard, no invite. It's an absolute.
I told you got to fight Jar for the
I'm going full Mikel Arteta here. It is a disgrace.
Oh, and it only happens to you. And what was the word?
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember now.
The one that got lost in translation. My ass did it. You knew exactly what you were saying, Mikel. Anyway, Dart Show, especially after today's shambles. Evening to everybody in the chat room. Bob is in. He says, evening, I'm watching in the morning, but I've got a question for the show. We'll come to that when we talk about the relevant game. Sean's in. He says, hi, how we doing, pal? Kieran's in. Lendl's in. Nazim is in and Matthew are in. They will say good evening. Hope you are all doing well. A more reasonable hour to start this discussion. And we do have 8 games to talk about from this evening. Starting with the very first game of the day, which feels like an absolute lifetime ago. When
it does feel a long time.
All day. Rapid Ricky Evans dispatching of Simon Adams 3-0. Professional job from Ricky. Simon didn't really produce the levels that we've seen from him in the Super Series just a couple of weeks ago.
No, he didn't. He certainly didn't play at his best. But like you say, I think professional is the perfect word for it for Ricky Evans. He was fantastic, to be fair. I thought it was a really, really solid performance and something definitely to build on going forwards from him. If he can carry on playing as clinically as that, then he's going to be a tough draw going forwards, because not only does he throw rapid, but he dispatched Simon Adams rapidly as well. 9 legs to 2 overall, and he just was never in trouble at any point, was he?
No, he settled in pretty nicely. I mean, we've got everything we've wanted there from Ricky Evans. We've got a professional performance from him. We've had a couple of 180s chucked in there for fun. We've had the fun little walk on, and within 2 hours, he's worked out that Simon Adams is one of the nicest men on the planet. I mean, he's done absolutely everything he needed to do in that game.
That's it. Every box tick there, and move on.
Okay, if you insist, let's crack on. Job done for Ricky Evans, who will play the final game on the 23rd of December. Nathan Aspinall.
Tough draw. Very tough draw, to be fair. Like I say, last game before Christmas as well. After Nathan's been spending a week practicing with Michael Smith, it may be it's some top quality practices that Nathan's coming in off the back of. So we'll see how that goes. But if Ricky plays like that, he'll give him some trouble.
He will indeed. On to match number 2. And we see Jim Williams, another comprehensive win for him over Norman Madu, making his first appearance since 2011. Jim Williams, again, the key word here is professional. He was professional job in this situation. I think we know Jim Williams has more levels to come, to the point where takes on Peter Wright next, and there are plenty that have been tipping up Jim to cause a bit of an upset, and even Jim himself we'll hear from shortly. Actually, no, he won't. He's not in the back end. Wrong one. Matt's in the back end. I know Jim is there. Jesus, what's he playing with? Doesn't think that would be an upset given his form this year. And look, this isn't the form we've seen from Jim Williams this year. We know he's got more in the tank, but he didn't use it, didn't need it, and he'll be back again soon.
Well, no, exactly that. I mean, we all know, even though Peter Wright's not been playing his best, 87 average isn't going to get it done against him. So he's definitely going to have to do better than that, is Jim. But like you say, it was all he needed to do today. And I think shout out to most of the chat room here who called the 9-0 whitewash here. It was probably the easy pick of the day, to be fair.
Yeah, I didn't quite jump on that hype train, but actually now you see it happen. Yeah, fair play. Well done, everybody listening and watching back. If you did call that one last night, reminder you will be able to get involved and predict your score lines ahead of tomorrow. Cam, in fact, we're 2 games in. Should we go over who predicted what in these games up until this point? Shall we?
I've lost it.
You lost it.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah. I know.
that's
I
a
know.
little convenient because before we came on air, you were just telling me that I got 6 out of 8 perfect scores, and I would have made a serious amount of profit if I'd put a pound on each of those.
No, to be fair,
predictions today.
Credit where it's due. You were 6 out of 8 on correct scores, and just for the punters in the audience, level £1 stake on each of those correct scores, you'd have made £9.10 profit if you'd listened to Goal. If you listened to me, you'd have lost £1.90. But still, it's not.
That's why I'm in the big boy chair.
Still not horrific, though. To be fair, it's not. But yeah, you did well last night, which is surprising.
I'll take it. I'll certainly take it. It's quite nice to know that you're knowledgeable about something in this world. Jim Williams.
That's it. At least I've turned up prepared. You didn't have a clue who's in the back end for us to put the interviews on.
I just deleted 4 of them as well from last night. Well, I looked. I was like, oh no, the top one was Campbell. So it's not my fault. They were putting in a wrong order, is all I'm going to say. This is Jim Williams in his post-press match. In his post-match press.
You are struggling with that this week, aren't you? You've not got that any time.
Jim Williams in an interview. Here we go.
Yeah, when I get here, everyone will tell you it's probably preparation. Mine is really poor. It always has been. But, when I get here, I want to win. And like I say, the last 3 or 4 weeks I've practiced, 2 days a week, which is more than I've done for 4 years. So I felt comfortable. It was just, my head was kind of all over the place. But, I did the right things at the right time, man, that's a bonus. Yeah. Is it a shock? I don't know. I've probably been better than him this year, but it's Peter, right? He's won it twice, and he genuinely is one of the people I really look up to. I think he's a great guy. I like how he plays. So yeah, it's a dream draw for me. That it's just perfect. I don't think any dart player you'd ever meet to play Peter Wright like in an evening game. It's perfect. It isn't the biggest game of my life was when I played the first time at Lakeside. I come from like a county B team to playing on the telly. Like you can't get bigger than that. So I kind of take it in my stride now.
Different levels to that one, I think. There was, I'm not very good at preparing. Then there's actually, I think I'm better than Peter, right? And then there's, I'm just a county B player. Make your mind up. I think that's probably Jim's problem, isn't it? Make your mind up, Jim.
Yeah, very much switching back and forth there, and couldn't settle on what he thought of himself. To be fair, so it's always a lovely interview with Jim Williams, though, isn't it? It's a very soothing voice. You could listen to it all day long. To be fair,
just a subtle Welsh accent.
Yeah, just nice, very soft.
You don't have to work too hard to decipher what he's saying, but there is just that coolness to it. A reminder that interviews with every single winner of the World Championships will be available in full on our YouTube channel. Mr. Phil Bars at Alexandra Palace for the duration of the tournament is down there doing his best ish, but he's there anyway, so we'll give him credit for that one. As we move on to match number 3 and one of the games of the opening round of the tournament so far. Don't get me wrong, it is only day 3. There isn't a massive long list of contenders, but this is right up there. Matt Campbell getting the job done against Lawrence Alaga, needing all 5 sets. The story of this one, Campbell racing out to a 2-set lead. Alaga just not settling at all. Fires in a ton plus to take the first set, and the third set does the same to take the 4th set, finds a 1-5-3, and then Matt Campbell's average in the final set, 118, after surrendering a 2-0 lead to his opponent to be drawn back into a level game. Campbell hits the afterburners to make sure that it's him that moves into round 2, Cam.
Yeah, it was all looking very comfortable at 2-0 for Matt Campbell in this one. And sort of lost the first leg on his own throw in the third set, but then broke straight back, went 2-1 up, and you thought, this is probably done here, and 3-0, and he's he's away with it, and then all of a sudden, Lawrence reels off 2 legs and then rattles through that next set again, where you were probably sort of thinking at 2-2, you're thinking there's a good chance here for Matt when he's waiting on sort of on 1-3-2 with Lawrence sort of setting up from 1-6-1. You think he's got a good chance to go and wrap it up, and then Lawrence takes out the 104, and we're in that last set, and you're thinking World Championship fever for Matt Campbell again. And then we see something that
one of the best sets average-wise the World Championships has ever seen, by the way.
Yes, and by far the best set we've seen so far from anybody in this tournament. It was incredible. The back-to-back 180s in the second leg to go and break, and then just wrapped it up very comfortably with the 128 as well. It was really impressive from him, and under that sort of pressure, once he's been gone from 2-0 back to 2-2, to find that, it bodes well for him.
It does indeed. Look, there's a decent little comparison to make between these two. Both made breakthroughs via the World Cup of Darts. We expect an awful lot from both of these players because of the performances we've seen within that tournament. Matt Campbell's debut in there carried Canada to a quarterfinal. It was where they were beaten by Belgium. Lawrence Alagan has been integral to that Philippine side for the last years. He's actually qualified for 8 PDC World Championships now. Only got over the line for the first time last year. We had that discussion last night. I feel like with both of these players, despite that set we've seen from Campbell at the end there, we're waiting for them to just go berserk. Literally at 2-0 down, I said it absolutely baffles me that Alagan has not rocked up at one of these World Championships and absolutely blown somebody away at some point, because he's got that level in him. And then he started reading off for 2 sets. I was like, hang about, here we go. And then it's just not quite happening that decider. But Campbell's Pro Tour and Tour Card career sort of feels similar to that, in that bags of talent, but we need to see that A game a bit more.
Yeah, exactly that. And I think they both got the same sort of issue, that the A game's fantastic, but they don't win with the B game, and that's the issue, where other players will get over the line when they're not playing too well. These two just seem to not be able to do it the same way. And like I say, I know it's sort of the big one of the year when Lawrence rocks up, and it's completely different to anything he plays throughout the rest of the year, other than maybe the World Cup in terms of size of crowd and big stage and atmosphere. But it's 8 times he's been up there now, like you say. It's not new to him anymore. At some point, you've got to wonder, is he ever going to produce it up there?
Yeah, look, age isn't on his side. He is a player that is getting on a bit compared to the rest of the Philippine contingent. Definitely one of those.
Despite probably looking the youngest still out of them.
Yeah, definitely would have been a player that would have benefited from a crack at Q School and basing himself. I know it's not always possible for everybody, but the talent and the action that man has, if he'd been in this country for 2 years, giving it a real crack, I only think we would have seen more from him. Matt Campbell has done that. We've seen glimpses on Pro Tours, as I said. Now he's through to the second round. James Wade awaits for him. That's a tough little matchup, given Wadey's form. However, contrast to that is the record and the venue. Yeah,
but if he starts struggling for a couple of sets like he did today, there's one thing for certain: he's not going to get that opportunity to go and rattle off that final set, because it'll already be done.
It will indeed. This is Matt Campbell in his post-match press conference. Say it slowly.
Like I told you, I feel like I lost 100 pounds, even though I could lose 100 more.
Were there demons going through your mind when you missed those 3 match starts to get it done early and Lawrence comes back into the game? Did you start overthinking it at that point?
Yeah, well, I started to, and then I was just like, you know what, whatever, he broke you. It's his throw now, so he should win the set. So just ease into it, and then I can refocus for my next one.
Going into the game, is there added pressure because you haven't won? And even before a dart's thrown, do you start overthinking it?
Well, no, it's not like I'm a world champion, right? I've lost 4 times in a row, so there's no pressure on me to win the first one. So just thankfully I got across the line this one.
That was Matt Campbell in his post-match press conference.
You've got it nailed now. That's 2 in a row.
Struggling here. The afternoon session was wrapped up I don't want to say in superb fashion, in professional fashion, in drama-free fashion. That's exactly the words that Joe Cullen used in his stage interview.
You're getting a thesaurus for Christmas because you've used professional for 3 out of the 4 games so far.
Drama-free was the job done by Joe Cullen, which is exactly what he asked for. He wasn't at his brilliant best. One of the sets was closer than the match scoreline perhaps suggests. Comfortable for Joe in the end, though. 3-0 win, 12-point different in the averages, chucks in 6 maximums. As Joe said before, he nearly swore on TV, he's not going to have an SHIT Christmas.
There you go. Exactly. It's like you say, one of the sets was closer, but then the deciding leg in that set was not close by any means, and Joe rattled it off very, very easily. I think Darren was still back on 260 or something like that when he finished it off. But yeah, like you say, it was clinical again, wasn't it? There was a few 180s thrown in there, but the outer ring was the bit where it was really impressive from him. I think he was sort of comfortably over 50% on the outer ring. So if he can keep that up, then we know the scoring will click at some point and he will seriously rattle through the averages. If he can carry on with the being clinical on the outer ring, then he's very dangerous in this tournament. The 160 in the first set was lovely, just to sort of get himself going as well. It just never looked in doubt. To be fair, as soon as the first one went in, you were on to the next leg almost.
Yeah, indeed. Solid performance from Joe Cullen, who is another player. We have a clip from his post.
He's gone again.
I've absolutely gone. Here's Joe Cullen.
I wouldn't say I'm concerned about it. I'm disappointed. We all want to win titles. There's no feeling like winning. But I think I play well in patches, and I think my game's sort of gone full circle a little bit. The Pro Tours have been real bread and butter in the Euro Tour. Not been great on them, but I've been pretty good on TV. Even the games I've lost, I seem to have played, okay, or a good performance has beat me. So, I'm not too worried about that. But if I can build on the 2 semi-finals and maybe go one further and maybe win this, then I'll be the happiest man. When you say people, do you mean the public or the media?
Both, really, maybe.
Yeah, certainly think the media. I think they see what they want to see sometimes. I've maybe been a victim of it in the past, but they see what they want to see. But the public, the public is so fickle. 1 minute they're your friends. If I lose the next game with a 72 average, I'm all of a sudden. That's what it is.
Might have been an edit there.
Bit of a little nibble at both the media and the public there from Joe. It's maybe not the brightest idea going into the later rounds.
I'm referring to myself as either of those things.
Yes,
just me.
Yes. I mean, we know how it can turn on this stage if you don't get the crowd on side, but I think Joe will always be all right. He's quite a well-liked guy, and he walks onto Oasis, so that always gets everyone on side.
He mentioned that in his
said he hates it.
I actually hate the song now because I hear it so much. Like Van Gerwen will still tell you his favourite song of all time is Seven Nation Army. It definitely isn't. He's so fed up with that by now, surely. Yeah,
I mean, Joe says that, but to be honest, half the tournament we have joint walk-ons, and we've not heard it that much this year. To be fair,
indeed.
Unless he's playing it in his living room.
Hype track over and over and over again.
he walks into every room in his house to have a practice. It's just blurring out.
Every time he gets up to make a cup of tea. Anyway, into the evening session.
Let's talk about this game because this is one that you got wrong. You didn't even get the right player to win.
How dare I? How dare I?
I did, though.
Is this the only one I got wrong?
In terms of player winning, yes.
Yeah. So yeah. Where's the
but with where we're at in the show right now, you're only as good as your last result, and your last result was that you picked Dylan Slevin to win this one, and Florian Hempel won it 3-1.
He did, and look, Florian Hempel looked pretty good after losing the first set. Florian Hempel was very, very good at that, I thought.
Yeah, he was. It wasn't a great first set by any means, by either of them, to be fair. But Florian very average on the outer ring in the first set, and Dylan was pretty solid, and that sort of got him the win in the first set. But then from there, Florian played really well. Fantastic shirt, by the way. A new one for him.
He's gone from boring grey, absolutely nothing, to, oh my God, look at this explosion of colour, which is also
very
incredibly
art
brave.
attack.
Only a former professional sportsman from another sport, which is more physical than darts, could you get away with wearing white?
Yeah, it was very art attack. It was very. I liked it. I thought it was quite fun, and like you say, he grew into the game. Really, it was a poor first set, solid second one, and then third and fourth were really good from him, and just never really let Dylan back in. To be fair, over a ton average in the third and the fourth sets is always gonna help you get over the line. To be fair, and very nice win for him.
Very nice win for Hempel, indeed, in front of a home crowd, or what it felt like, because it did sound very German at times this evening.
Yeah. Well, we know. To be fair, we know the Germans always travel well, especially for the Worlds. So yeah, I had plenty of support in there, and I assume he gets quite a lot of support anyway. He's just a nice guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he is indeed.
Have we got a clip from him?
No.
I was gonna take over from you there, and I was going to introduce it just to save you.
You do. He is the last one.
We've actually got him. So here is Florian Hempel in his post-match press conference.
The 2-cut wasn't in my mind, so you know your situation, but I tried to don't think on the situation. I went to the stage and I tried to get my best, to give my best, and yeah.
Over the last 2 years, we've seen the best and the worst of your game. Can you put your finger on why that slump in form happened? And obviously you've come out the other side and you're playing well again, so can you put your finger on what happened in that period?
It's a difficult question, but no answer for it, sorry.
And obviously, with that win today, it puts you back provisionally into the 64. Were you aware that one win would put you back out over the line temporarily?
Yeah, now we have a look to the other guys around me in the 2-cut race. The pressure is not anymore on my shoulders, so I give it to the guys, and let's see what they will be happy. They will be do. Yeah.
The fact he said tour card race means that he uses dartsrankings.com.
Yes, absolutely.
Half the world uses dartsrankings.com by now, surely. And if you don't know,
all do.
It's the worst kept secret in darts. It's absolutely fantastic. It's such a basic concept. They are absolutely brilliant. A few more joining us in the chat room, so I'm going to say hi to some. Connor's in. He says, well, lads, how we doing, pal? Sean says, I'm dreading Vandenberg Hempel. Yeah, that won't be pretty, will it?
It will when Hempel beats him.
Mean. Joe says, good game that. I enjoyed it. Yeah, Sean's bullying us for post-match press conference. And Anthony's in. How we doing, pal? Hope you are well. On to the second game of the evening, which saw the return to Alexandra Palace for Darren Webster. Unfortunately, it didn't go to plan for him. He was beaten by Nils Onnevad, who picked up his first ever win on the Ali Pali stage, 3-1 to the Dutchman.
Yeah, it wasn't a great watch, this one, was it, to be fair? As games go, we've seen better up there today. But Tonwell just sort of did what he needed to. And another man who hadn't won a set on the stage before today, it's a big result as much as he's not played particularly well. He's actually ended up averaging 5 points lower than Darren Webster somehow in the end. But comfortable 3-1 win and on to the next round for him, and monkey off his back. He's now not only won a set, but he's won a match, and I'm sure he'll play better than that next time.
Yeah, look, it's such a weird thing to say because he was 2-0 down at the time, but at 2-0 down, there was an argument where you could sit and look at this game. If you couldn't see the scoreline and you asked me who was the better player at that moment, you'd say Darren Webster. He looked so much more comfortable up there. He had a much nicer rhythm to his darts. He was pinging things left, right, and centre, and all of a sudden he just found ways to lose legs. I didn't quite understand how he ended up in that situation. The final 3 sets in particular, he was averaging more than Zonneveldt. He just found ways to lose them.
Yeah, I think exactly that. I think he's always going to look a little bit like he's playing better, just the speed of it as much as anything. Like you say, he's a more watchable player in terms of the way he throws his darts than Zonneveldt is. But yeah, he just kept finding a way to lose legs, and finishing up 7 out of 30 on the outer ring is not going to be good enough.
Not indeed. That was the exit for Darren Webster, and that might spell the end for him as a professional dart player. We'll wait and see what he chooses to do in the coming weeks. Nils Zonneveldt, though, progressing for the first time at Alexandra Palace. He will take on Ross Smith. Nice little reward. Ross won't enjoy that pace, I don't think, but been a very, very positive year for Ross Smith once again. Penultimate game of the evening, and this is where a lot of the hype was drawn throughout today.
Surprising, isn't it? They don't usually do that, Sky.
I think it was in moderation. I don't think it's as bad as it has been in previous years. There would have been a time where every single ad break, every single cutaway would have been a 10-second Fallon's back promo. I think they used Luke an awful lot tonight. Understandably, he's won 3 of the last 4 majors. And the fact that the instant reaction to this game is talking about the hype and everything that goes around it, rather than just the fact it was a darts game, tells you everything where this conversation is going to end up. But I don't want to use that word. I was really, really impressed with Jermaine Watermain this evening. Yeah. He is a player who you usually associate with being quite flustered up on stage, quite panicky. He overthinks. He has a lot of errant darts. I thought he looked very, very nervous at the top of the walk-on. I didn't think he looked comfortable in that first leg. I just think Fallon was so far behind it, allowed him to get a foothold in the game. That first dart at double 4 when he hit the 13 was miles away. But with all that being said, an excellent first set for Fallon Sherrick. But after that, Jermaine got his head down and got the job done. That second set, the one after the first break, I think, where Fallon's first visit was a 29. Yeah. Set the tone for the rest of the match, I think. If that had been a big one, Jermaine's 1-0 down going, how has this happened? That's a different matter. But she gives up such an early break so easily on the return from stage. He's then won a piece, blows away the third set pretty comfortably, and then it's just a battle of who can hold their nerve and finish better throughout the rest of the game. And for once in her career on a TV game, that wasn't Fallon.
No, it wasn't. Scoring, if you look at it, sort of just the turntables in isolation, it looks like she scored all right, but every visit in between was 60 at most. It just wasn't consistent enough. She let him get too far ahead a lot of the time. And yeah, like you say, when it came down to the sort of pressure doubles, there were a couple of big moments where she had 2 darts at 60 to win, to level up the second set at 2-2, where you're thinking she would have then had the throw to go 2-0 in front overall. That was a massive moment, because if she goes and does that, I think we possibly do see Jermaine crumble a little bit at that point. And then sort of set 3's got blown away a little bit, but then she should have wrapped up the 4th set comfortably 3-1 and faffed about on the doubles when she was way ahead in the leg. Let Jermaine back in, and he pinged the 110 after she'd thrown as bad of a dart at double 8 as he threw at the double 4, but it was way down in the centre of the 16, not even in the double, just in the middle of the bed. Only getting 1 dart at the double on that visit, which he then straight after that pinged the 110, and from there it was game over, really.
Yeah,
I think there were a couple of. It looked like I wouldn't say he's completely got over his wobbles on the stage, because there were some shocking darts at some point.
His darts are balanced really weirdly as well. I've thrown them before. There's a bit of weight to them, and they just seem to, at the last minute, just take a nosedive and kick back in again. And if he's off, he's so far off. And I think part of that is the speed he goes around the board, but part of that is his equipment. I'm just not sure it's conducive for consistent darts.
Yeah, I think there was a point. I think he had 40 left at some point. I think it was possibly to either win the match or to Yeah, it was. It was to win the match in that final leg, which he ended up winning in the end anyway. After Fallon faffed about a little bit, but the first three at it were a million miles away. Like he nearly hit treble 20 with the first start, and then was well inside on the 10 as well, and missed high on the 5. You could just see they were really, really rushed. Now, obviously, he's not the slowest player anyway. He's generally fairly quick, but there was no composure whatsoever to them. So I think that was the opportunity where, especially once she hit the treble 16 as well, to give herself 2 darts at the double. If you can ping the double 8 there and win that set, I think then you could have really had him rattled, but it just didn't happen, and it just wasn't her day today. She played nowhere near the level we know she can play at, and like you say, Jermaine handled it for the most part pretty well.
I think that'll probably be the most gutting thing for her and fans and those that are tuned in just to watch her at that point, is that we know she's got so much more than that, and actually it was the finishing that's let her down, something we usually associate with her as being such a strong point in those key moments. But actually maybe she carries an awful lot of weight on her shoulders for what she's done for the women's game. Absolutely launched the PDC's drive into women's sport over the last couple of years, has been the face of it. That's come with criticism as well, with the uprising of Bo Greaves and her talent, who's then not there this year, and obviously the way that she got in to the tournament last year as well because of the World Series muddle up. To just go and be able to play darts, I don't think it's ever going to be something that Fallon is capable of just rocking up and right, I'm here, I'm going to play. And I think it seems to be weighing on her shoulders a lot more when we see her on TV nowadays than the first time, which was just an absolute free roll. I'm just going to enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly that. That was, like you say, there was no pressure at that point. It was fully go and enjoy it. And now we know. I mean, we're all on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it these days. Like you see it straight away. Like everyone is so quick to try and put the dagger into her. Like,
do you know what's worse? The Facebook groups and pages.
Yeah, I mean,
people all making. Honestly, some of the stuff I've seen in there tonight is a joke. And like, that speaks as much to anything as the people that still use Facebook religiously. All she's done is play darts in opportunities that she's been given.
Exactly, but yeah, they're so quick to put the dagger in and to have a go, and that comes with pressure itself. Because even if she'd gone up there and won tonight, if she'd won with that performance, averaging 87 and sort of a lot of loose darts and missing a few doubles, if she'd still gone on and won that, she's still got pelters saying she's not good enough and bowls a lot better and this, that, and the other, and it's just unwarranted, and it makes life a hell of a lot harder for her than it should be.
It does indeed. Graham says darts Twitter seems to enjoy Fallon failing these days. A bit harsh indeed. Literally under a comment saying bye bye Fallon with laughing emoji. So yeah, solid that. Sean says, I don't know, Fallon's great, but she's lost like 4 matches in a row at Ali Pally now, I think. Yeah, obviously the one she lost to Dobie and then 3 first rounders. To put that into context, Joe Cullen won once in his first 8 appearances.
Lawrence Eligan's won 1 out of 7.
Yeah.
1 out of 8, sorry. He's lost 7. Yeah. Lost 8, sorry, because he obviously lost in the round after he won as well. So he's lost.
I think Chris Murphy summed it up perfectly. The difference between Fallon getting the attention that she does and Joe Cullen or whoever else potentially getting that spot is, if Fallon wins a game here, she's in the Sydney Herald and the New York Times. If I go and qualify, I'm not doing that.
No, I mean.
And that's amazing.
To be fair, if you go and qualify and win a game, it's a bigger story, to be fair.
Yeah, because it might not feel like a significant moment to you at times going, oh, it's one game on one stage in one tournament, but actually it opened so many doors to PDC women's darts that it's just going to have that accolade constantly there. Sky didn't block her. That was a PDC move, and it was her decision. It was left to her.
Yeah, she could have played, and she chose not to.
Yeah. And the other one, did you hear Wayne Mardle talking on the phone or something? It's not the phones. What it is, it's a talkback system. So they use the same microphone to communicate with the director and the producer. You hold a button, and then he can talk directly to them. But what's happening, I think, with Wayne a lot is that when he's doing that, his co-host has got their mic too close to him, so they're picking up what Wayne's saying through their mic. It's not even a Wayne problem. It's just that Wayne is quite loud. If it's loud in the arena, he's trying to communicate with whatever he needs to do. They're all at it. They all do it. It's all a thing. But it's just having whoever sat next to you getting their mic out of the way so that if he's trying to have that conversation, it can't be heard.
Yeah, it's I dropped you a message. It's been a couple of times already in the tournament we've heard it, but I dropped you a message as it was going on before. I just saw Jamie's question in the chat there. Do you think everyone should throw like Neil Sonneveld?
No, moving on.
Well, no, because he's left-handed and most people are right-handed, so that make it very difficult if everyone has to throw left-handed.
It's so hard to analyse a lefty's throw, I think, because of the camera angles we get and that you get the closed side of the hand. You can't see what the open side is doing, which is how we're so used to analysing a throw that I actually struggle to say if a lefty is a good throw or a bad throw. I can tell you if they're structurally in place all right, if the mechanics of the elbow and the shoulder and that in place, but actually the release I really struggle with. Some of them, like Slevin's, looks terrible to me, but actually from the other side it might well be a lovely throw.
Yeah, it's a bit like, to be fair, it's on that sort of point. Obviously, we both watch the NFL, and you look at Tua's throw, and it looks awful. I've seen a video where someone's just flipped the video, so he looks like he's throwing righty on things. It's just literally mirror image,
mirrored,
and it looks perfect. It looks like it's the best throw in the world. So yeah,
I still really watch him and go, "Nah, that's awful. What you're doing? It just looks short-armed and jabby and But
yeah, if you watch it from a right-handed perspective, it looks unbelievable.
Yeah. Talking of a right-hander's
James Wade is just perfect, though. Absolutely right there, Jamie. It is an unbelievable throw.
It is. We'll see him on Tuesday. Talking of unbelievable and right-handed perspective, Luke Humphries was in action, the pre-tournament favourite, although I believe he may have drifted to second after that performance. The bookie's not quite impressed, or people taking value elsewhere.
Not impressed at him winning 3-0.
Not impressed at him winning 3-0 with a 94 average. I think they're expecting it's been tight anyway in the build-up to this tournament. It has been fine margins on who everybody's preferring, and it's not quite stamping his authority like we saw from Michael Smith in the opening round, and Gary Anderson as well. There's been better performances from seeds so far. That being said, again, drama-free pretty much from Luke Humphries. Pushed a lot, to be fair, by Lee Evans.
Played really well, Lee Evans, I thought.
Yeah, the running thought in the chat room and on social media is, how on earth has Evans not won at least 2 sets here? But every time Humphries was given a chance, he took it out, and there's plenty more in the tank.
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, he missed a few chances, Evans, and like I say, he took the 170 out, but then other than that, he had a lot of opportunities to win legs and didn't get it done at the business end of the leg. But Humphries just did what he needed to do, and when he did miss, Humphries was there to clean it up, and it was just I just thought it was a solid performance, and it was exactly what you need to do in the first round. Like, you don't gain anything for going out and averaging 110 in the first round. Just get through it. Like you say, stress-free, 3-0, move on, go home, enjoy Christmas, and come back.
Yeah, it's interesting listening to Luke at the minute. He does mention himself lifting the trophy an awful lot right now. He's clearly very, very confident and in a good mood, but is there an element that actually that can unravel very, very quickly because he is in such fine form? He's on such a roll. If you're having a conversation with anybody, it's right, Luke's the one to beat. He's the one in form, but actually I back myself. Like you're going to hear from most people. And actually that might just come to an untimely end for Luke in this tournament if one key moment gets away from him.
It might do, but I suppose we'll see. We'll see if he gets dragged into a scruffy game where he's not playing too well and how he sort of responds to it. But up until now, he hasn't done, and he's just continued to play really well. I mean, the guy's just won 3 tournaments in 49 days. I mean, he's gonna be confident, and he's gonna think he's got the best chance of going out there and winning it, which he probably has because he's playing better than anyone. And even if he does fall flat on his face and he goes and loses his next round game, which I think is very unlikely, to be fair, I think he's got Petrescu or Mikuru next.
I've done too much digging.
No, he hasn't. He's got someone. I forgot who he's got.
It's not in Wikipedia yet. Because that's how professional I am. We're using Wikipedia as the draw.
Yeah, hang on. I've actually got the draw here. I'll tell you. Oh no, he's got up next. He's got Callan, Mikuru, or Petretsko. So yeah, I was sort of right. I basically written off Callum Ridds and said he's not going to beat either of them two, which is probably the wrong thing to say. But yeah, I just think he could fall flat on his face and get beat. But even so, what a year he's had anyway. So, and it's not like it's going to be his last opportunity. The guy's still young. He's got a hell of a lot of years left to go. And even if it doesn't happen this year, he's going to be one of the favourites for the next 10 years to come.
Yeah, he is in fine form right now. Right, quick reminder that interviews with all winners are available in full on our YouTube channel. Head over there to catch up with your favourite players and see what they had to say after their victories. We look ahead now to tomorrow night's session, just the one session, Alexandra Palace tomorrow, no afternoon session, which gives me a chance to travel down there. We start with a Belgium versus France clash. Mario van den Bogarde will take on the French touch. Thibaut Tricot has booked his spot PDC World Darts Championship for the first time. Cam, how will he fare?
It's a tough one, isn't it? I think this is really, really close. And just as much as anything, that when it is as close as it is, I like the value on Tricot more than I like on Van den Bogarde. I'm going to take him to win it 3-2.
I also think I'm going Tricot. Lakeside finalist, him and Van den Bogarde both played in the same tournament before. Tricot seemed to get the better and go deeper in those WDF, BDO tournaments. At that time, don't get me wrong, Mario's had a tall card as it's put in some solid performances, but I'm going 3-1 Tricot. I think in this one, chat room, Daz has got Tricot 3-0. Matthew Macy has 3-2 with a France flag, so that must be Allez le Bleu for you. Graham says 5-set of this to the Belgian. Jamie says Mario 3-1. Match number 2 is the return of the Fast and Furious trilogy. Gian Van Veen takes on Manlock Lung. What a fantastic little matchup this could be. 2 future prospects in this one. Cam Gian, the man with the experience, the hype, but not had a good time of it on TV of late. Lost in that World Youth final to Luke Littler. Crashed out of the Grand Slam early doors. Can he fare any better at the World Championships?
Yeah, I think he will. I think the one thing with the World Youth final, yeah, he got off to a slow start, and well, a little bit of a slow start, and also the fact that Luke was absolutely flying at the start as well. But it took him a little while to warm into it, but then he did play really well towards the back end of that as well. If it takes him a little while to warm in this, yeah, maybe he might lose the first set if that happens, but he's still then got another. He's still got time, and the way this format is, it gives him a chance to maybe have a little wobble at the start and still go on and win. So I'm going to give him a 3-1 win.
3-1 for me as well. I think I'm going Gian. I think he's a fantastic talent. I had the pleasure of marking one of his games at the World Youth earlier this year. Fantastic player, fantastic future prospect, and hopefully he settles up on the hockey nice and early tomorrow, because we've just seen a wobble with that action the last couple of times he has played. Chat room are going. Matthew says Van Veen 3-1. Jamie says 3-0. Daz has got 3-2. Kieran 3-1. Nazim 3-0. Graham 3-0. At this point, nice little thing to mention as well from Anthony. A nice warm-up for our Luke for our Littler today on the Ali Pali stage for the afternoon session. Went live on air, back-to-back JDC world titles. 102 average, coming from 3-1 down to win 5-3. Yeah, he's just a bit bloody good, isn't he? So talented. And look, he's settled. His interview was really good as well, saying that, look, people know I'm coming now. We had the pleasure of him in our company at the Live Lounge Live on Monday, just gone. So much confidence, so much ability, and Andrew Gilden will not have liked seeing that.
No, definitely not. And like you say, I liked that he got pushed a little bit on can you win it almost, which is probably a ridiculous question at this stage. But he said, if my A game's there throughout, then yeah, I absolutely could. But I'm not thinking about winning it at this point. I'm thinking about going up there and winning a couple of games, which is the right attitude, isn't it? I mean, if you walk up there telling everyone you're going to win it at 16, you're going to fall on your face probably very, very rapidly.
We pretty much saw somebody do that last year, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. So I think we'll see him play well. I don't think it'll get to him too much. Like I say, good for him to have a little warm up there as well today. Definitely helps. And yeah, could go through a couple of people in this, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, rumours that Christian Kiss is carrying quite a severe wrist injury, has barely played for the last couple of months. Andrew Gilden has not hit the same heights that we've seen since he won the UK Open. Would then take on, I know we're getting miles ahead of ourselves, would be in the same part of the draw as James Wade or Matt Campbell. You know what the record's like up there for both of those. So, yeah, look, chances here for young Luke. It'd be interesting to see how this one plays out. Sean, who did that last year, Jack? Josh Rock. Won the World Youth. I almost told everybody he was going to win the World Championship.
He wasn't 16, to be fair. But
debut World Youth. Yeah, I'm going to beat people. Ish. Penultimate game of the session tomorrow is Martin Lukeman against Halpai Puha. Smash takes on.
Love me some Smash.
I think this is a tough one to call, though. We saw Halpai at the Super Series last week, getting some last-minute practice in. Showed glimpses of just how good he is. Showed glimpses of very inconsistent. Then Lukeman, second season syndrome. He's for me, the English Hempel this year. Struggled to get himself back to the Euro Tour events where he started to make a bit of a name for himself last year. This could go either way, I think.
It could, but still, for me, I think Lukeman's too good here, and I think he probably wins this one 3-1. I don't think it'll be that close. I think he'll maybe lose the set, but I think he'll be relatively comfortable in the others, and fancy him to wrap it up, to be fair.
What do I do with this one? I think I'm going to go Lukeman as well. I just think Halpai's got to play good for every set he wins, whereas I think Lukeman's got the ability to play his B game, and if Halpai's on his B game, chances will be there. So I'm going to go Lukeman. I'm going to go 3-1. How has this match made it into the time slot? An excellent question. How is this prime time tomorrow night? I'm not too sure.
Everyone loves a bit of Martin Lukeman, don't they?
I'm not against a bit of Martin Lukeman, but is he prime time?
I mean...
Yeah, now you've dug yourself a hole there, haven't you?
I mean, it's a better game than the first two.
Then change it up.
And it is a Monday night. It's hardly Friday or Saturday night.
What have we got prime time tomorrow? The Tretscombe Suzuki. On a night
very quickly on to tomorrow. You've already still called it tomorrow at bang on midnight. I like that.
Nailed it. Kissed Littler. Now that's a prime time game. Clemens against Van Veen or Manlock Lung. And then Barney. Yeah, they're primetime games. Oh, and then Bunting.
Have you gone too far ahead there?
No, I'm looking at evening.
You're on
There's
Wednesday.
No primetime on even. There's no primetime afternoon slot.
But you're on Wednesday though.
Yeah. So I've listed them. Protretscu Suzuki.
Yeah, you missed out. You missed out Tuesday.
I didn't. Clemens.
No, okay, I'll let you off. No. I got confused there. I've lost it. Anyway, I like it. I'm fine with it. Out of the games that have been drawn out for tomorrow, it's the best one outside of the one that's got going price in it.
3-1 Martin Lukeman for me, and then on to the final game of the evening. Going Price takes on Connor Scott. Connor Scott, has put in one of the best performances we've seen from anybody in that first round so far. Not necessarily second round, but it was mightily impressive from Scott earlier on yesterday to beat Christoph Chuk 3-0, 96 average from the sniper. Can he go and do it again? Can he catch the Iceman cold?
I don't know. Like I say, he did play well, and he's already been up there and played, and it's not Gezzy's favourite stage, as we know. But I do think he'll just have a little bit too much. But I do think he gets pushed close, and I think this is the closest we go to seeing a seed go out so far, and that it's 3-2.
Interesting. I really like Connor. I thought his performance was solid, but this year, going perhaps 19 major tournaments in a row without a trophy. But if you look back at those first and second rounds, he's been brilliant in the majority of them. He doesn't fall early, he blows people away early, and then he rocks up for a quarter-final and plays badly. I think that might happen again. I think we might see exceptional going price. Then he takes 8 days off, comes back and forgets he's a dart player.
Could well be.
So I'm going to say we see a 3-1 going price tomorrow. I'm going to give Scott a set. I thought he was excellent in that round one, obviously. But I think we get the rip-roaring Iceman tomorrow night. Chat room for one last time. Sean says price 3-1, as does Jamie, as does Matthew. Nazim's got Gezzy 3-0. Graham's gone Scott 3-2. He's going for the upset. Jamie's got price 3-0 of 105 average. Kieran's got price 3-0. Daz has got 3-2. Scott as well. Two of you back in the upset in this one. Well, I'll let you know how it goes on Tuesday because I will be there live tomorrow night. Fallout Bar will return tomorrow evening. I'll let you know who is part of that show. Cameron and one other. I'm going to go and break the good news to the rest of the boys. The Fallout Bar will be back for every single day of action throughout the Paddy Power World Darts Championship. Not every session. There's just no point doing an afternoon while people sort of working. But yeah, every day of the Paddy Power World Darts Championship will be here at the end of play of the evening session to review all of the action. Interviews of all the players from their post-match press conferences are available on our YouTube channel. Head over to there and make sure you check all of them out. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and make sure you've liked and subscribed this channel feed, everything else that goes with all of that throughout this tournament. We've been Online Darts. This has been the Fallout Bar. Big thanks to Cam for joining me, to everybody in the chat room. We will see you all very, very soon. Bye.